This month we're tying a knotted tassel. The envelope will include 3 strands of cotton cord. We'll even up the ends here and then tie them in an overhand knot, like this. And we'll tape the knotted end down to hold it in place while we braid the cord. To braid the cord, we'll take the piece here on the right and we'll put it in between the other two. And then we'll take the piece on the left and put it in between the other two. We'll just repeat that over and over again. Piece on the right between the other two, and a piece on the left between the other two. And we'll just repeat that over and over again, right between the other two, left between the other two, just over and over again until the whole cord is braided. And once we get to the end of the braid, we will just tie that end in an overhand knot. Fold the cord in half, making a U shape. Bring the right side down and over the left side, making a loop. Then bring that same end back up over the loop that you made to form a pretzel. Grab the left end and bring it over the right end above the pretzel. Weave that same end through the pretzel under, over, under, over. And flip the whole thing over and start adjusting the knot. You can tighten the center loop by pulling here, and then the side loops by pulling on the ends, like this. And then pull out on the side loops and the center loop to tighten up the center of the knot until you have it looking the way you want it. Grab the longer piece of silk cord from the envelope and turn the knot sideways. Fold one end of the cord, the silk cord, and lay it on top of the knot, like this, with the long end going off to the right here. And we're going to pinch it together, and this is going to have a loop here and the short end here, and then we're going to take the long end and wrap it around the bottom of the knot here, below the knot where the two braids are hanging down. We're just going to get that cord there and get the long end and wrap it around the whole thing, probably around 9 times. And then we'll put the end of the cord through the loop on the left here. Then on the right, we'll find that other end. We'll tug on it so that where the loop is, the loop ends up going underneath all the wrapping. So it kind of gets into the center of all that place where we wrapped it. And then once it's in the center, then we'll pull both ends and pull it tight. And then you can just fiddle with it a little bit, get it to where you like it. You might have to tug on one end or the other to make sure that that knot is in the middle of underneath the wrappings. If the wrappings get separated from each other, you can maybe squish them together a little bit, slide them around till you get it just the way you like it, all nice and tight. And once it's looking good, you're going to take some scissors and cut the two ends off really close to where they pop out from underneath the wrapping. To make the tassel part, we can either untie these overhand knots or just cut them off, either one. And then we're going to undo the braid below that wrapping that we just did. Once the braid's all undone, take your scissors and trim the tassel a little bit longer than you want it to be, because we're going to give it another haircut again later, so just a little bit longer than you want the tassel to end up. Then we'll take each piece of cord and we'll twist it counterclockwise to basically untwist it, and then tease out each of the little strands that make up the cord. And we're going to do that on each piece of cord that's hanging down. And if you have a comb, you can try using the comb to kind of comb out those strands, just to get them all nice and separated from each other. And then we need to repeat that for each of the pieces of cord that's hanging down. Twist it counterclockwise to untwist it, and then tease out all the little strands that make up the cord. And once you've got all the strands teased out and combed, then you're going to want to give your tassel a little bit of a haircut just to even up any ends that aren't even. And it looks like I'm going to need to give it yet another little trim just to get everything nice and even at the bottom of my tassel. And the last step is the hanger. So grab the shorter piece of silk cord, fold that in half, put it through the top loop of the knot, and then pull the ends through that and tie an overhand knot. And there you go. Trim that off a little bit. And we've got the hanger and we're all set.